There is a moment of the day that many parents secretly fear more than the morning rush or the after-school chaos. It is not the tantrum in the supermarket, not even the homework meltdown. It is the moment the lights go down, the pajamas go on, and a quiet war begins around a small bed. The clock says it is late. The adult body is tired. The day has already been too much. And then, just when rest seems close, the child suddenly has endless energy. One more glass of water, one more story, one more question, one more hug. 1,000 reasons why sleep cannot happen yet. On the surface, it looks simple. The child does not want to sleep. The adult wants the child to sleep. A battle of wills. A negotiation. Sometimes a threat. Sometimes a bribe. Sometimes a collapse on the floor by both sides. But underneath this familiar scene, something much deeper is happening. The child is not only fighting against sleep. The child is fighting against what sleep represents. For a young nervous system, night can mean many hidden things. It can mean separation from the adult. It can mean hours alone with thoughts and fears that feel huge in the dark. It can mean the end of control over the day. It can mean the quiet arrival of memories or worries that were easier to ignore when there was noise and light and distractions. Adults often see bedtime as the moment the child finally calms down. For the child, bedtime is sometimes the moment everything that was held back during the day comes rushing to the surface. Imagine being very small in a big world. All day long, there are rules, changes, noises, people, screens, tasks, transitions. Hurry up, slow down, say thank you. Don't say that, sit here, stand there. The child's nervous system tries its best to keep up. It may feel anger, sadness, jealousy, confusion, and tiny daily rejections. But there is not always time or space to process all that. Then, suddenly, the day ends. The room becomes quieter. The lights become softer. There are fewer distractions. The body starts to slow down. And in that slowing down, all the unprocessed feelings finally find a door. That door is often bedtime. So when a child refuses to sleep, sometimes it is not the bed that is the problem. It is the feelings waiting inside the bed. There is also another layer that attachment theory helps to name. For a child deeply attached to a parent, the parent is not just mom or dad. The parent is safety, warmth, oxygen, the center of the universe. Being asked to sleep alone, or even to sleep in the same room but with emotional distance, can feel like a small separation over and over again. Even if the child has slept alone many nights before, each night is a new goodbye. Not a dramatic goodbye, like a parent leaving for a long trip. A tiny goodbye, repeated daily. Good night can secretly feel like, I am going away from you for many hours. You will be alone with your mind. A child does not have the words to say, I am not just stalling. I am scared of going offline from the only person who makes me feel safe. Instead, the child asks for more water, more hugs, more light, more stories, anything that delays that invisible goodbye. From the adult side, there is another hidden story. Bedtime is not only the end of the child's day. It is also the moment the adult finally hopes to have silence, to rest, to exist for a few minutes as something other than a caregiver. When the child resists sleep, the adult is not just fighting for the child's health. The adult is fighting for survival too. For 10 minutes of not being needed. For half an hour of not holding the entire world together. When these two hidden stories meet, a child fighting separation and an adult fighting exhaustion, bedtime becomes a battlefield. But it does not have to stay that way. The first step is to see the battle for what it really is. Not a war against sleep, but a conversation between nervous systems that do not know how to rest safely yet. Attachment theory offers a simple but powerful idea. Before the body can relax, the attachment bond needs to feel secure. The child needs to feel, in a very physical and emotional way. Even when I close my eyes and you are not right here, our connection does not disappear. I am still held by something invisible between us. So how can a parent offer this sense of invisible holding at night? One way is to turn bedtime from a sudden off switch into a gentle ritual of closing the day together. Not just brushing teeth and putting on pajamas, but closing emotional loops. A ritual is not magic words or perfect steps. It is repetition with meaning. The same sequence, night after night, that tells the body and mind, you are safe. This is known. This is how we shift from outside to inside. Imagine a simple three-part ritual. The first part is physical grounding. It might be as simple as sitting together on the bed or the floor for a few minutes, with the lights dimmed. Breathing slows down. The day stops moving so fast. No screens, no rush, just the sense that this is a different space from the rest of the day. The body learns, night is slower, night is softer. The second part is emotional naming. Many children carry little stones of frustration, sadness, or fear from the day that never got named. A bedtime question like, "What was one hard thing today?" can open a small door. Not a long therapy session, not an interrogation, just one hard thing. Then maybe, what was one good thing today? The goal is not to fix everything. It is to show the child that feelings do not have to go to bed alone and unspoken. When a child says, "I didn't like when you left," or "I was scared when the teacher shouted," and the adult simply says, "That was hard," something settles. The nervous system receives a message. My inner world is seen. I am not carrying this by myself into the dark. The third part is attachment assurance. Here, the parent sends a clear, repeated message. This connection does not turn off when the light does. This can be done in many simple ways. A specific bedtime sentence said every night, like a small spell of safety. For example, "Even when you sleep, your heart stays close to mine." Or, "This room holds you, and my love holds you too." For some children, a physical symbol helps. A parent might place a small object in the child's room, a scarf, a simple bracelet, a little drawing, that quietly says, "A piece of me stays here with you." Or they might agree on a nighttime friend, a stuffed animal that is officially declared a helper of the parent in watching over the child at night. None of these gestures are about convincing the child with logic. They are about speaking the language of the nervous system, repetition, warmth, and clear, simple cues of safety. Of course, there will still be nights when the child asks for the 5th glass of water, the 10th question, the 15th, one more story. It can be tempting to see each request as manipulation or disrespect, but often, these requests are just the clumsy tools a child has to ask a more honest question. Is it truly safe to let go yet? An adult can answer that question without saying those exact words. Sometimes it sounds like, "This is the last glass of water. After that, the body needs rest. I am close by, and we will see each other in the morning." The tone carries as much information as the sentence. Calm, firm, and warm. Not ice, not fire. A middle place. There is another important layer, the adult's relationship with their own nights. Many parents carry old memories of being afraid in the dark, of not being comforted, of being told to stop being dramatic, or just go to sleep. The child's bedtime resistance can wake up the adult's own inner child, still standing alone in a hallway decades later. When that happens, the adult's frustration is not only about this child, this night, this glass of water. It is about all the nights no one came, no one listened, no one saw their fear. The body remembers the feeling of pleading and being dismissed. So when the child pleads now, the adult might swing between overindulging and shutting down completely. Noticing this is not a reason for guilt. It is an invitation to recognize. Part of what hurts me at bedtime is mine, not my child's. With that awareness, an adult can take a small breath before reacting and silently tell their own younger self, "This time, we do it differently. This time, someone stays." On a practical level, this might also mean creating a small ritual for the adult after the child is asleep. A few minutes of silence, or a cup of tea, or a short walk inside the house, where the adult also tells their own nervous system, "The day is closed. You are no longer on constant alert." When the adult's body learns to trust bedtime, it becomes easier to help the child's body do the same. Over time, when bedtime becomes a predictable sequence of grounding, naming, and reassurance, something shifts. The child may still protest some nights, but the intensity reduces. The rituals become anchors. The child's brain starts to associate night not with abandonment, but with a slow, known, safe pattern. Some nights will still be messy. There will be evenings when patience runs out, voices rise, and doors close louder than they should. Perfection is not the goal. Repair is coming back the next day, or even the same night, if possible, and saying something like, "Last night was hard. Your body was tired. My body was tired. We both fought the night. We can try again together." can turn a painful memory into a stepping stone instead of a scar. Because in the end, bedtime battles are rarely about laziness or defiance. They are about a nervous system that does not yet fully trust the dark, and another nervous system that is afraid it will never get to rest. Seeing this changes the way the scene is held. The bed stops being a battlefield and becomes a bridge. A bridge between the outside world and the inside world, between noise and silence, between the child's fear of being left and the adult's fear of never having enough. When the night comes again and the dance starts, the one more story, the I'm not tired, the stay with me. There is a quiet question behind all those words. Will you still be here, somehow, when I cannot see you? Every small, consistent ritual that answers yes to that question makes the fight a little less intense. Not because the child suddenly loves sleep, but because sleep stops feeling like disappearing. If there is a wish to keep exploring these hidden layers behind everyday parent-child struggles, this space is here for that. New episodes dive into the quiet patterns behind behavior that looks simply difficult from the outside. If this message resonates, consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this video so it may reach another home where nights feel like a war no one is winning. And if there is a story or question about bedtime battles in a child's life, leaving it in the comments can turn that struggle into a compass for future episodes, so no one has to navigate these long nights entirely alone.